Hi, everybody. We are so excited. This is going to be a podcast with artists from Crown and Press. I think it's going to be interesting for you guys. It takes you out of my studio, takes you out and meeting other artists. And today is Sandra Manzi. Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And I'm trying to remember, Sandra, when did we meet?
Let's see. Well, I was getting some work photographed at Potlia Space,
Okay.
just around the corner from here.
Another Crown and Press artist.
Yes, and he was getting my work photographed with Jane and Jeff. They were photographing my work for a show that I was having in Niagara,
Okay.
Niagara on the Lake. And anyway, I think you were at that point you were looking for artists, and I contacted you, and then you liked my work, and I said, well, I'm actually going to be.
But I completely remember now.
Yeah,
I remember. Sorry, I did not remember. I was trying. I knew that we had met in a specific place, but Sandra was in a show I went to, fell in love with her work. We started chatting.
Yeah.
And you said something to me like, I've been trying to get your attention
That's
for a
right.
while.
That's
so
right. Yes.
What did you do? What were you doing to try to get my attention?
I was looking at all your Instagram posts and liking them.
Yeah.
If I liked them. Most of them I liked. So I was liking a lot of them. And looking at the artists that you were also connected with that were showing in the same. So I was looking at the galleries you showed in,
Yep.
and just basically looking at the whole network that you were involved with. And I kind of thought, oh well, this is something I'd like to get involved with as well. And I'm now in Hamilton because I was in Toronto and moved to Hamilton, and then originally found out about you when I was researching Hamilton to move here because I had looked at your studio that you had on James Street at that point.
Yep, so fascinating. So for those that don't know, we're at Crown and Press Gallery having this interview right now. Crown and Press is in Hamilton, Ontario in Canada. Please come by. You'll be very welcome. We have a great staff, and Sandra actually works very part-time for us as a staff member too. She takes the gallery when we need some infill. But I remember now completely. So I went to Paul Elia's show, and you were one of his featured artists, and I was fascinated by your work. Is that correct?
Well, I wasn't actually showing there, but I was going to be showing there, and I was getting work photographed.
That's right. So I was able to look through everything and be amazed at what you do.
Yeah, because I had probably about 25 paintings there at that point getting photographed.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it just all come back to me now. And I remember just being gobsmacked by it. It's amazing. So what we want to know, who is Sandra Manzi? How long have you been doing your art? Tell us all about it, and then tell us about your actual art. We're going to show Sandra's art, and we're going to walk around the studio a little bit. We're going to get her to hold some art and tell us how she does things. I think it's going to be really interesting, guys, because I've never seen anything like Sandra's work. So here goes. All right.
Okay. Well, I was mainly doing figurative art. I consider myself a figurative artist.
I do too.
I was doing a lot of figurative work, and I'd taken a bit of time off from painting. I was working a lot. I worked at the AGO for 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
Was very busy working there. So I basically, for a while, a good 10 years at least, I stopped painting. And then the pandemic hit. We all got laid off temporarily.
Yeah.
I had all this extra time on my hands, and I thought, well, let me get back to what I really love doing here. I got some time on my hands, so I want to take advantage. And there were some ideas that were going through my brain on how to abstract the figurative work I was doing. And technology got involved because we were doing a lot of Zoom at the time, right? And for the first time, I had to really understand technology. And I started researching and looking at video editing software programs. And that's how I decided, well, I want to still paint, but this allows me the ability to take the imagery one step further. Yeah. And it also kind of is a bit of a metaphor as to what's going on with our lives right now, how technology was taking over all our lives. So I actually, the first couple of images that I took were screenshots of Zoom sessions with my friend, that because we were working out together, but we had to do it separately from home.
Okay.
But we always used to work out together at the gym. So
Okay.
we did it via Zoom through from our own homes.
Oh my goodness.
So I took a couple of shots of her, and they were portraits, and I used them in the first layer. And then I decided I wanted to be more colorful in my work. So how do I trick my brain into abstracting the image? So that's when I got into the layering. And I was able to do that through just, you can do that on your phone even.
Yeah.
There's like editing programs on your phone. It's quite simple, but it's also, you can take it really far, or you can keep it really simple.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Well, the work is incredible. The layers are so interesting. I remember the first floral I saw of yours, and it takes you a minute, but then you find the horse.
Yes, right.
In it, and the different things. So we're going to show you her art. But did you go to school all those years, even before the AGO?
Yes. So I went to school in the 80s. And so I did a 5-year art program at Central Tech in Toronto, which was a pretty intense 5-year art program.
Okay.
9 to 13. There was 13 then.
Yep.
When I graduated there, I went to Ontario College of Art and did a diploma in fine arts / experimental arts, because
oh my goodness,
in the 80s, you have to think that painting was bad. Like there was a time when it was all conceptual art.
Okay.
My schooling, a lot of it was conceptual art.
More abstract.
More
thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking, yes. All of this. And, but I wanted to get back to how to paint, to learn. I felt like I was missing that element.
Yep.
So did my diploma at OC, and then I went and did a BA in fine arts at the University of Guelph. So a lot of years of school, right? Always trying to search for that, learning how to paint, right?
You have a fine art master's approach,
right?
Don't you?
So when I then graduated my BA in fine arts, I still felt like I was missing out on that, and I actually started researching and doing copies of the old masters by just taking out books from the library.
Yep.
And then eventually I got the job at the AGO, and for 30 years I had all the old masters to look at,
And they were all the time. You can see it. You can see it in your work. And isn't that kind of neat? Because that's how painters of old did learn how to paint.
Yeah.
They would sit in museums and paint. And
exactly.
Technology allowed you to just do that from home.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
And even 40 years ago, when you went to college, that was not a thing.
Exactly. No, there was no technology then. So I really did blend.
Can you believe it's 40 years?
I don't want to think about it, but yeah, I know, it's scary.
It's wild.
It's scary.
When you say the 80s, it feels like, oh yeah, the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, I was having my children in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
So yeah, so I find that there's a real blend with tradition and technology in my work now.
Absolutely. So what is your favorite thing to paint then now?
I have been going back to the figure a lot, and I'm always trying to find things that I see in my everyday interactions with people, and I look for little stories.
Okay.
Right, but I kind of like stop myself from really making it clear. I want people to project their own lives into what I'm depicting. Right. So I don't want it to be too clear. I want it to be more sort of familiar in a way. Oh, I kind of know that experience, and I want you to put your own experience into it.
Well, I recently saw on your Instagram your collage from your computer.
Yeah.
That's going to make it for the next painting. So I'm learning so much, because I always thought you were painting a reflection.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that. I kind of thought, is this a photo reference that she took? So it's so interesting, and it's so interesting that you were at Paul's too, because Paul does that too.
That's right.
Combines
he does use technology as well in his work, right? Like, I should say, a funny thing with Paul, the comparison to Paul's a photographer, but photography is so much an element of my own work, and yes. I don't want to hide that.
No.
Right? It's like it's almost like I make paintings based on photographs, and I want want you to know that there's a merge, there's a marriage between the two in a sense.
So when I am illiterate a little bit when it comes to like Photoshop or anything like that. Are you using Photoshop? Is that what you're layering in? Is that how you're
Yeah.
doing it?
Yeah, so I actually had to teach myself, and Photoshop was, first of all, too complex and too expensive, and it was better if you had a Mac, and I don't have a Mac.
Right.
So somebody, I can't remember if it was a friend who referred me to it or if I just ended up finding it myself. Something called Pixlr, which I use,
Okay.
and it's basically just a bit of a simpler version
Hmm.
of Photoshop, and it's just easier to use on a tablet that's not a Mac, a regular PC. So, and what I do is I basically load images into it,
Okay.
and one over another, and start to layer and manipulate it.
And do you work with the opacity of that layer and
Ex-
all that stuff?
exactly, yeah. And then I kind of, and I probably do about like each, yeah, you got it. Each one can go through 10 different variations before I decide this is it. It's almost like becomes my sketchbook,
Okay.
right? It almost becomes my sketchbook.
Okay. I'm finding that to be super cool. So if you are watching and you're taking anything, use whatever tools are out there. You are not limited. It doesn't have to be, I was taught this way and this is the way
No,
to
there are
do
no
it.
rules. You know
No
what? You
rules.
learn rules, and then there's break the rules. Like everything in life, just learn to break the rules and develop your own style.
Right. But you've broken the rules, but composition is strong, color balance is strong,
You
all
need to
those
know.
things,
You need
those
to develop.
theories.
You need to still develop your eye for all of that, because it won't do it like it won't do it for you, or it'll give you so many variations. How do you know which one is going to work on a canvas or not? And there is still a little bit of manipulation that happens,
Yes.
because it all is then hand painted on canvas, right?
Yes. And you're an oil painter.
And I'm an oil painter, yeah. Because I paint so slow,
So you love it.
I love it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's just gorgeous work. Is there anything else, Sandra, that you want to tell us about your practice? I just want to hear it all.
Sure. Well, I think I had mentioned that I first started using florals a lot, and some of that had to do with the fact that I, as a figurative painter, you stick to very kind of muted tones,
Yeah.
and I wanted to punch up the color a little bit. So that part of it was the reason, but also, again, referring back to old master paintings, there
Yeah.
were a lot of what they called, still lifes or memento mori,
Yeah.
which was basically, they would use flowers as symbols and to speak of life and death.
Okay.
Everything that we use flowers for now, we use it for funerals, we use it for
Sure.
happy things, sad things, all of that was basically adopted from when we first started using florals in paintings way back.
Amazing.
So,
So
yeah.
you're really thoughtful.
Uh, I think it's going back to all the studies,
Yeah.
a lot of studies of art history as well. I
Sure.
not only did studio courses, but I also did a lot of art history, and working at the
AGO,
AGO,
you would have to know
again,
everything.
art history, right?
Absolutely. What was your role there? Were you the docent?
Well, being there for 30 years, you get to move around.
Okay.
So I would go through like 5 years here, 5 years there, 10 years here. I did everything from working in art and membership to working in the vaults, which was the coolest job. I got to work in art storage
Uh-huh.
during the closure of the gallery in 2006, 2007, when they
Wow.
expanded. We had to take all the work from the walls into the vaults and then back out from the vaults back and safely. And there was like a whole crew of us that would do it. So it was very, very cool.
Oh, that is cool. It's almost night at the museum.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to handle Tom Thompson's West Wind.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
yeah, I got to handle that out of its frame, because at that time we had to photograph it. So they photographed the art out
Oh
of its
my,
frame.
that must
So
have
I got
been
a lot of
amazing
behind the
to think that
scenes.
he touched it too,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I worked front of house where I worked ticketing. I worked the shipping, receiving for art rental and sales, and the gift
Amazing.
shop. Lots of different jobs there.
So yeah, you can have an art career in very many different
Exactly.
ways, right?
Yes.
And working at a museum must have been really neat. Now, I'm imagining though it might have also frustrated you because you said for 10 years you didn't paint.
Yeah.
So you'd see all this work coming in
It was really tough. Yeah, it was tough. There's pluses and minuses, right? It's also at the end of the day, you don't want to see art anymore because it can be a stressful job as well
Sure.
because it's a big gallery corporation, really. It's
Yeah.
and when you're done at your shift at 5 o'clock, you don't want to go home and paint because you've been, so
Right.
that was the downside.
So now though, you live in
You
Hamilton.
Now I live in Hamilton. I've decided to leave the AGO. I left there. Made a lot of friends there. I still have a connection to the place, but now I've moved on and I just paint full time and I live in Hamilton.
So now at this time in your career,
Mhm.
what does it look like for you for
So
representation?
I'm represented here with Crown and Press. I'm represented in Toronto. I'm represented in Oakville,
Hmm.
halfway between the two. And I'm also represented in the US now in San Francisco.
Have you been to San Francisco?
I have, yeah. I went
That
a
must have
couple of
been
weeks
so
ago.
cool.
I've never been. I went down and it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I
Did you
love it.
take a million photos?
Oh,
Were you
too
so
many.
inspired?
Too many. Yes, very inspired. I went to all the museums and galleries there because I could just never get enough and took tons of
Well,
photos.
I'm thinking of a challenge. I would love if you're inspired at the gallery sometimes, because when you're working here, you must see so many interesting people here at the cafe and even coming in and our reflection. It'd be neat to see something that you build from here in Hamilton.
That I build so
You
that I
build a painting, a composition of.
So I've actually started doing a new series of paintings of people looking at paintings in galleries.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so okay.
Yeah, so I
I
actually
didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought you did. It's like,
No, I
oh,
didn't know.
yeah, I just started doing a series. Yeah, it started, this new series started when I was traveling. I went to a trip in Italy. I was in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. And I started taking photos of all the artwork, and people were getting in my way. But then I started looking at the people that were looking at the art, and I know there's a lot of funny like videos of people post on Facebook of people that look like the paintings.
Yeah.
They're dressed like the paintings and all of this. But I kind of saw more there. There was some people looking, some people not looking. So I was looking at the relationships of the people and comparing it to the relationships of the people in the paintings.
Oh, Sandra
Yeah.
is a deep thinker.
Not for everything.
Okay, so is there anything else you think we need to know about you before we go look at your paintings on the floor?
I think I said it a lot.
I think
I
you
said a
said a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go look at Sandra's work that's here at Crown and Press. And I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to be fascinated. All right, let's go. So here's a couple of Sandra's small paintings. Aren't they exquisite? Now just look at the detail. And yet they're still like you use a mastery, old masters kind of style, but they're still so contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got
That one up.
a piece up on the wall there. So Sandra's going to show us up in detail a few of these interesting layered pieces. So I believe that this painting here is the one that first captivated me with Sandra's work. Can you see all the layers in the faces? That is so interesting. All right, Sandra, tell us
Yeah.
all about this one.
Well, this kind of brings a lot of everything I was just saying into one painting. So again, it's the florals that I was using to bring the composition together.
Yeah.
And it gave the images something to layer with color, right? Again, and this was a figure of a friend of mine who, again, I was talking to you about that I was using Zoom sessions to do our workouts.
Oh, okay. So
right?
she was working out at this point.
So
oh, I see it.
Yeah. So
I see her workout clothes.
she was on her balcony in this image.
Oh,
she started working
so
out
neat.
on her balcony. So yeah, she's got her workout clothes on. She's
all right.
She had turned her head from the camera at one point, and I snapped a photo, a screenshot actually. So this is directly taken from a Zoom image that I had taken of her.
I see a very classical face.
Yeah, and then this is actually a sculpture that I took a photo of when I was in the Uffizi Gallery
Mm.
in Florence. So I wanted a real person, a classical person, and then this is people see this last, the
They do.
horse.
They do.
They don't see it right away. And when I went to Florence, there was some bad news in a sense. There was bad news, and a friend of mine had passed away. She
Oh,
had been
I'm
sick for a
sorry.
while, and she loved horses.
Okay.
So I wanted to memorialize her in this painting with the horse. That's how that came to be. So that made it very personal
Absolutely.
and connected to the experience that had been traveling, and this all happened when I was traveling to Florence.
Right. And you did the Florence trip after COVID?
Yeah, it happened. It
Okay.
was in 2022. So it was just when everyone was starting to start to travel again.
Yeah.
Everyone was still a little bit on the fence about it, but I was just like, I'm going.
I'm going. You're going.
Yeah.
Oh, I find this absolutely fascinating. I'm even learning more about this. I'm going to get my staff to watch all this videos. All right, let's talk about this next one.
So this middle image is me starting to collage a little bit. So remember I was saying there are a bunch of different versions when I start to layer?
Yes.
Yeah. So originally all of the figure here was layered, right? This is actually my niece that I used. I
Oh,
take photos of everyone. So I started taking photos of her, and I started using them in these collages. So originally it was, you can see the rest of her face, right? But then I decided I wanted to start collaging. So she almost becomes this ghostly figure
she
behind
does.
the florals
Yes.
here. So I'm playing around with that a little bit.
So how long does it take you to paint your paintings?
They vary. When I was working with these, I was working with smaller brushes. My brushes have gotten a little larger, but I precision is a big deal to me.
Yes, absolutely. I see that.
So although I love the brushwork to show, but I'm also a precisionist with my work. So they can take a while because of that. They take about 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks, just in the painting themselves. It doesn't include the working out the drawing, working out the idea prior,
Yeah,
playing around with the color palette and stuff. So each
absolutely.
one at least a month to a month and a half in total.
Wasn't that amazing to work with Sandra today and learn a little bit about her process? I want you all to be encouraged. Everybody's process is so different. There's no right or wrong. And we just learned that from Sandra, and to use all the tools that are available to you. So, crownandpress.com is where you can find Sandra. And I hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe, because we're going to be doing lots more videos with lots more artists. See you later.